Hey, welcome to For the Story, the only podcast that smells like the armpit of your t-shirt after a long day of work where you inexplicably forgot deodorant. My name's Avery.
And I am two-time MVP, Canadian Hall of Famer, Steve Nash.
Welcome to the podcast, Steve
Thank
Nash.
you.
You're here in the porn corner, also known as the film hole.
Thank you.
And today we're talking about some films. Anyway, yeah, that's what we do here at For the Story. We talk about movies.
I actually had a question for you based on the armpit thing.
Yeah, what's your question?
So, you know how I like to make lists, right?
I didn't, but now I do.
So, I've been making a list of things that people should smell like at the gym, from like most okay to least okay. And I just want to make sure it's like good. So at the very top I have nothing. Like, you shouldn't make any smell.
That's impossible. That's like peak smell technology.
No.
I don't think.
I think it's
science has
100%
achieved that yet.
possible. No smell.
Just have no scent.
I mean, in the context of a gym where like the equipment is what smells gross, if I can't smell you at all, I'm happy.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense. If like the ambient odor of the gym is overpowering your like just natural scent, I feel like that's normal and that's how it should be. Yeah, I can agree with you.
Top. Then I have sweat, because sweat's excusable, right? Like, you're at the gym.
But that's like late game workout though.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you shouldn't come there being like, hey, I'm the sweaty guy.
Or like, hey, I already stink. That means that you just smell all the time.
And then number 3, I have cologne/perfume, because it's like not deodorant. It's like, why are you wearing Armani cologne at the gym?
And the thing about that is that doesn't cover up BO. You just smell like cologne and BO when you do that. So like, such a mistake. Everybody thinks that you can get away with that. Or maybe nobody thinks that. Maybe it was just me in middle school.
No, it was me in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
And like early college.
Like late college.
And now.
Early adulthood.
And probably for the next 4 years. And at the very bottom of the list, I have smelling like kitchen spices.
Ooh,
because
that's exotic.
No, you think it's exotic, and then like on 2 different occasions, I have run into someone at the gym who smells like cumin.
Oh, that's not good.
No, that's not the spice you want. You want to smell like cinnamon. You want to smell maybe like some cardamom. But cumin?
Yeah, cinnamon would be excellent. I feel like that would be pleasant. I feel like that's number 0. Like, that's what you want to smell like. If you could smell actively good instead of just nothing, I don't know, man. I don't know.
But like, my list is not out of order. That's like the most important thing for me.
Okay. Well, now that we've talked about delicious scents and where not to find them.
Ooh. Is that the movie we're watching?
That is not the movie we're watching.
The first movie you smell.
This week, you probably listened to our Venom review from last week. We're kind of keeping the horror thing going. I don't know if Venom's really a horror movie.
It was horrible to watch.
Yeah, that's true. It was definitely not a palatable experience. But this week instead, we watched Little Evil.
Yeah.
It actually came out in 2017. It was directed by Eli Craig, who also directed the film Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Horror comedy film starring Adam Scott, Bridgett Everrett, and Evangeline Lilly. I think that's her name, right? Yeah, Evangeline Lilly. Yeah. Also appearance is Clancy Brown, who I recognize from somewhere.
Yeah, I don't remember.
What the hell did he do?
What he's in.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, maybe he might just... He kind of looks like Kiefer Sutherland's dad. Maybe that's the only reason I think I recognized him.
He does more voice stuff. A lot of like...
I'm seeing that, yeah.
He's
in a lot of bad stuff and a lot of good stuff.
He was an Axe Cop.
He was in Thor Ragnarok. Oh, he did the voice of Surtur in Thor Ragnarok. Go figure.
Okay. But I was more excited about Axe Cop. You know about Axe Cop?
I don't know what that is at all.
Okay, so Axe Cop was like a cartoon drawn by a child or created by a child, drawn by his dad or a weird family friend. I can't remember which.
Okay.
And then they made it into a TV show, and it was about an Axe Cop, which...
Oh, no shit.
And he played Bigfoot on that.
Oh my god, that's great. Oh my god. Dude, he plays the voice of Mr. Krabs.
Oh.
That's how we know him.
Yeah. I know who that is.
That's why he looked familiar. So that's Mr. Goddamn Krabs is in this movie.
I mean, don't forget, we also have Chris D'Elia, who is Justin Bieber's favorite comedian, which is a general bummer.
We have Chris D'Elia. Oh, and I didn't even open up the whole cast.
We have Turk from Scrubs,
also known as Turk from Scrubs.
Yeah, that's his.
No, his name is Donald Faison, or Faison. I think that's his name right there. As Larry, a couple other dudes who played like these like tertiary characters.
Yeah, Kyle Bornheimer. He was in like a bunch of. Oh, he was in what was he in? It was a TV show. It was Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he was also in Hail Caesar as an extra.
Oh. He played Tad the drummer in the Amazing Atomic Monster in 3D. My favorite movie.
He was in the movie Monk, or in the TV show Monk, as a uniform cop in 2005.
Man.
Just so you know.
Gotta love a cop in uniform.
Just gotta. Wow, look at that guy. Anyway, so I think we could start this off by talking about some of our expectations for this film, because I don't think that they were very high for either of us.
I actually saw it when it first came out, because I was like, oh, a horror comedy with Adam Scott. I'm into this. This is right up my alley. And then
it's 2:30 in the morning. Click.
I wish you were wrong. It was marginally more okay than I remember it, but still just like, we just picked two movies for our first two episodes that just have great first acts, and that's about it. First, maybe early second.
That really is about it. Yeah. We did our like little meeting before we relaunched production for the podcast, and this is one of the movies that we discussed as a part of our like monthly discussion for what we're gonna do for the month. And we were laughing so hard at the concept that we were like, this is gonna be terrible. I went into it thinking it was gonna be awful, and it kind of lived up to that. Like, once, like you said, like the first act was good. Everything else kind of just like really dipped off really hard, and then it got cheesy and stupid. But I mean, like, I wasn't expecting some of the stuff I ended up seeing, which we'll get into in the strengths section in a second. But I also wasn't expecting some of the bad stuff. What's the premise of this film, Ash? Can we give them a little rundown before we really start talking about what we like?
Oh, Papa, a guy named Gary marries Evangeline Lilly way too quickly without really figuring out if her son's Satan.
Yeah, right.
And then
it seemed to me like,
and then no one fucking realizes that the kid's Satan for 90 minutes, and everyone's an idiot. I
think that actually was one of the funnier parts of the movie.
No, it wasn't. It was awful.
That was definitely. I actually like really liked that. That like there was all these like people who were just like pointing out to Adam Scott, like, look, he's Satan, and Adam Scott's like, no, I see a child. Until like he really started to question it, and it like kind of actually presented itself.
Literally, just like the first 40 minutes of this movie is everyone being like, huh, it's weird how that child made that woman jump out of a building. Kids are crazy.
On fire. Yeah.
It's like,
and he like got a clown to light himself on fire or something. And the clown was like, the kid made me do it.
What would the Omen be like if like no one cared that Damien was Satan? That's like what this movie is.
That's what this movie was. That's what this movie was. This movie was The Omen, but everyone's an idiot.
But also like shot like it was Signs.
Yeah. Very, very strange. This movie, the premise, I think, actually kind of is good for a horror comedy type film like this. I think that I personally feel like they executed it to the best of their abilities, because I think they realized especially in the beginning of the movie, probably when they were writing the script, that they have a premise that can only go so deep until it gets down to Adam Scott has to murder a child, which, spoilers, almost happens. But we'll get to that. I think.
I mean, like, it's like it should have been a 40-minute thing,
like a short little thing.
Yeah, that they're like, oh no, let's
Maybe
make this an hour and a half, and it's just like
it kind of
not
slumps because of that.
Not that much information.
Yeah. I think the premise is like actually funnier than they felt that they could execute it, and because of it, we end up with a whole bunch of characters who are kind of pointless, like his support group friends, like Turk and whoever else. They end up not really doing much, but being there, and they're like, "We're there for you." Like, I almost expected T.J. Miller to be back in that crowd. That seemed like a T.J. Miller kind of role. Maybe I'm stretching here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
But, yeah. So, do you have any strengths we can discuss? I think I like this movie more than you did.
Yeah, no, I hated it.
We were talking about it a little bit beforehand, and Ash absolutely hated it. I found myself like gleaning some kind of value from it that I thought was fun. But let's start with strengths, and I'm going to make you start first because that's funny. Because you hated it so much.
You know what? Adam Scott's great. He's a good guy, and he's the same character and everything, but I'm always like, oh, Adam Scott, you can do whatever you want.
He is pretty great. I gotta agree with you.
The child actor, and no, I won't give him as a strength. I have to say, like,
that was Owen Atlas.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a picture on his like IMDb or whatever.
I think that probably the biggest strength for me was the scene where they were doing like the stepdad's circle. Like, that was a great scene where
and they were all talking about how terrible their stepchildren are, and the one guy's just like, my kid's shit in my sock drawer or something like
yeah,
that.
he had to, like, the way that it was oriented, he had to like look at himself in the mirror and like do it. He tried to blame it on the cat, but I know that little fucker did it. Like, it was so... Yeah, that was probably the best part of the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, period. I liked that a lot, because I really liked the way the humor, like, built. Like, each person in the circle had a ridiculous story, but it built up to that guy's stepchild shitting in his sock drawer. It's just like, Jesus, that's fucking terrible. That's so obnoxious.
Yeah.
And there's a repeat gag later in the movie where they're, like, talking about how his stepson's backpack is in his truck, like, or something, like in the trunk of his car, and they're like, we could all take turns shitting in his backpack. I don't know if you got that.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's just like, it's equally as immature. But yeah, that was pretty good. I don't know. I really liked Bridgett Everrett in this a lot.
Yeah, no, she was good. She was good because, like, I like how they handled her a lot. Because she's just like, she's like very clearly a woman, but she's like, I'm a stepdad, and like no one really questions that. They're just like, okay, like you are, and it just worked super well.
Yeah, whatever. You are what you are, and yeah, I thought that worked out great, and like how her children refer to her as like their other dad or something like that. It's pretty fucking hilarious. Yeah. She has like a monster truck that's like hidden, which is like probably one of the sillier parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was actually really great. Her character's name was Al, just Al, and she I thought was exceptional. She was very funny. For me, I really liked the way this movie looked. It was kind of like almost sickeningly bright at times, like in a lot of the outdoor stuff. But I liked a lot of the lighting when they were inside in like dingier locations. They made great use of like reds and greens. Like, I thought especially when they were in Al's like garage, I thought that was really good. And it was like right after, I forget what the fuck happened. Oh, it was right after Adam Scott gets arrested, and like he goes to Al's place to get like the handcuffs cut off. He's like running through town and stuff, but he gets to Al's place, and they go into Al's garage where she has all these like tools and shit, and they're like cutting off the cuffs. But the way they shoot it reminds me, it's like this thing, it's called like a snap zoom. It's something that the director of Evil Dead does, Sam Raimi. And it reminded me a lot of Evil Dead 2, the way they like zoom in on something really quick, but it's like got a quick cut. And then they're like opening beers, like Dos Equis and stuff. And I thought that was pretty great. I thought that the looks of that was really good. I also liked when they went into like the church, like down to the basement, and like the one like pastor was like whipping himself and like speaking in tongues and shit.
Latin.
It was just like, your kid's the devil, we must kill him, or something. I don't know. I can't remember what he was saying.
I don't think that was a strength.
Oh, really?
No.
I liked that a lot. I thought that was so bizarre, and they were like, what the hell? And then like escaped all quickly. Yeah, I thought that was fun. Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah, I knew we were going to come to two totally different angles for this.
Well, it's like
I had a feeling
they had so many weird choices because, like, this movie is like comedy The Omen, but then they decided like they're going to just be like, yeah, but there's like parts of Poltergeist and like The Shining in it for no discernible reason, and like not like below Scary Movie level references to these movies.
Yeah, they did do
like,
that.
Can you honestly tell me
like
that this was?
Hey, remember this?
Was this better than Scary Movie 1?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, and that's a terrible movie.
I wouldn't say, like, I don't know.
Because like it just feels like a failure.
There are parts of it that are better. This movie had a little bit more heart than Scary Movie. Scary Movie is just like, I think like that whole franchise is just soulless exploitation.
Yeah, well,
like the whole thing about that is like, remember this and remember this. It's like, oh Christ.
Speaking of soulless exploitation, remember how they just had like a little person in the movie for one scene and the joke was that he was short?
Great segue into weaknesses. Yeah.
That was a fucked up part.
And like he was in for like one scene. So basically Adam Scott and Bridgett Everrett get like told by, I think, the priest in the basement.
Yeah, to find Gozamel.
Gozamel. I said Dormammu.
Dormammu? The ruler of the dark dimension from Doctor Strange. Okay.
I couldn't remember what his name was. I knew it was some like odd, like fake Latin sounding.
You know, they went to this guy and they said, Dormammu, I came to bargain.
Well, the gag was basically the entire joke with this character, this Gozamel, is like they're going to like this like, I think it's like a biker bar or something, or like a hardware store. Yeah. No, it's an army surplus.
Yeah, it's an army surplus
store. Go find this guy. And like the one guy walks up and he's this big leather biker dude, and they're like, Gozamel, is that you? Because they think like, oh, he's a demon hunter. He's probably gonna look like fucking someone named Gozamel would be. But then that guy steps aside and it's a little person with like all of these like all this like gear and stuff that he's buying, and it's just like the whole joke is that he's a little person, which, like we said, shameless exploitation. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yep, and also like they just like make him kind of he's not a very great character. He drinks and drives. Don't do that, kids.
Yeah, and he's just like, we don't need seatbelts. It's the end of the world. And then like it's like foreshadowing when they like almost hit something and he like flies out the window and gets like impaled.
It was like that creepy guy from earlier in the movie.
And so like that's like his whole scene. He was only in the movie for like less than 10 minutes. Yeah. And it was just for a joke that he was a little person, and that never surfaced again. Nope. Like that character never surfaced again. Like there wasn't any intention for him to be a little person.
Yeah.
You know?
Like
it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. It had no payoff.
So
which made it tonally seem like it came out when Scary Movie came out. Because that would have been a joke that they would have done.
That would have been a Scary Movie joke. Yeah.
I guess that's why it reminded me of it. Also,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Not really like a weak point, but just like a scene where all the scenes of this movie are characters not reacting the way that they're supposed to anything because they're insane. Yeah. But like Evangeline Lilly's like giving almost said Michael Scott, Adam Scott a back rub. Yeah,
dude, you're thinking about that whole Parks and Rec Office universe because Adam Scott.
Yeah,
is like that makes so much sense.
But she's like giving him a massage. She's like, well, like his dad, like I don't know who his dad is. You know, I was in a cult, and basically like describes like the scene from Rosemary's Baby, but it's like definitely like, and I just passed out and like left and never came back. And like he should have been like, we need to call the cops. You were assaulted. Yeah. And he was just like, oh, that's weird. Like that's not a normal. That's like that's not a normal reaction.
That is not a reaction to somebody being sexually assaulted
in a cult.
That's in a cult. Yeah, that is like totally insane. Yeah, they don't act like normal human beings. They act like kind of like caricatures. Because I think that's part of like the idea of this movie is that it's ridiculous, and the whole like premise is ridiculous. But they're trying to ground it in reality by, I think, some of the other characters being in complete disbelief that like this kid would, you know, be the son of Satan or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't get the goal that they have, like, because it feels at times like they're trying to make like, hey, there's no stepdad movies that are that great. Let's like make it have like a stepdad message, but then like they undercut it with just weird stuff.
Yeah, like almost complete absurdity. It almost sounds like, I think that's a good transition for us to get into the entire like third act of the movie, which is just where it just kind of falls apart. Because like basically the whole thing is that Adam Scott has convinced himself that he needs to kill this child, and so he's like, I'm gonna go teach him how to swim, and tells Evangeline Lilly he's gonna teach him how to swim, when in reality he's going to tie sandbags to his arms. And there's like this really dark part after they've been like bonding all day, and like this like nice woman like comes up to him, and she's like a normal human wouldn't, let me take a picture of you and your kid. It's just like weird, but like they've been bonding all day, and finally after teaching the kid how to swim a little bit, they go up on this water slide.
Like the kid forces, he's just like, I'm going up on the water slide, bye.
Yeah, exactly. And Adam Scott brings sandbags, which he begins to tie to the kid's arms, and he says, they feel heavy right now, but when you hit the water, they'll feel a lot lighter, which is like, oh my God. Like, he's like gonna murder this child, and then the kid just jumps down the slide kind of out of nowhere.
Okay, if you're gonna drown a child, by the way, Your Honor, I do not condone drowning children. Right. But like, do you think you would do it not in a place that's public that has, I don't know, lifeguards? Where are the lifeguards in this scene?
Yeah, and like
take him to a river,
especially because if the kid drowned, right, and he was responsible for the kid, and they found the kid with sandbags tied to his arm, don't you think that they'd be a little suspicious? Especially about how, like, Adam Scott's his stepfather. He's been acting weird, like he doesn't like the kid.
There's photographic evidence of him being there with the child now.
They're like literal photographic evidence. Like, it's totally going to appear like he murdered this child. Like,
where is this supposed to take place?
Pennsylvania. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Actually.
Okay.
Which is really weird. That's actually pretty close to my hometown. It probably wasn't really filmed there, but it did kind of look like Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
It kind of looked like the town from Stranger Things.
It kind of did. Yeah, it kind of did. Which means that it was probably filmed in like Los Angeles somewhere, that they were like, this passes for Pennsylvania. We could pull this one off.
Yeah. You know? No, it was filmed in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, it was filmed in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. Yeah, Ohio and Pennsylvania actually look a lot alike.
That makes a lot of sense, because that one scene where LeBron James dunked on Adam Scott.
Yeah, totally, man.
You guys should see this movie if you haven't already. Just wait for it. It's the post-credit scene.
The post-credit scene. Well, LeBron's a Laker now, so.
Yeah, he is. And I have to deal with his kid went to, well, everyone knew because his kid is going to school around here.
Oh, really? So it was like,
yeah, it was pretty obvious.
It was already rumored.
But apparently, like,
interesting,
in our neighborhood's like swimming pool, LeBron James's like whole family and like the kids' basketball team had a swimming party, which is like, now it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Before we get into talking about, I thought LeBron's whole thing was that he played for Cleveland, even though like they weren't necessarily a great team, unless they are they?
No,
like,
they aren't.
know.
But he definitely also left Cleveland to be a part of a good team before, and then came back.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. He seems kind of like a traitor to me, but whatever.
It's okay. The 76ers are going to be good this year.
Are they?
Yeah, dude. They're fucking sweet.
Huh. Okay.
They have like a 6'10" point guard.
6'10"?
Yeah.
My God, man.
It's like Magic Johnson, dude. They're going to be awesome. Well,
who's the shortest guy in the NBA
right now?
And now we're going on a tangent. I
think,
want to know who the shortest guy is.
I mean, like there might be someone small that rides the bench, but I think it's Isaiah Thomas, who's 5'9".
Wow, really?
And like not even
5'9".
Like that's how much he's listed
that's like how
as.
tall I am.
Yeah, he's probably like 5'7",
awesome.
but he's listed as 5'9".
Interesting. Wait, why would he be listed taller than he actually is?
Shoes, and like they just want to seem taller for,
Publicity,
just
perhaps.
people signing them. Like, but people do the opposite too, because Kevin Durant's listed at 6'9", but he's definitely 7 feet tall.
Really?
Yeah. But
why would they list him shorter though?
Because it was back in a time where because we're moving more towards in basketball, like less like a positionless basketball, where like now our point guards are fucking so tall and our centers shoot threes. And so back in the day, he's like, oh, well, 6'9" like the tallest for a small forward. But now it's like, it's fine that he's 7 feet tall, but he's not going to change it.
Huh. Weird. Okay.
Yeah. I am Steve Nash, so I thought I'd bring some basketball knowledge to the episode.
That's good. Thanks.
Yeah. Me, Steve Nash.
Hey man, so I mean like aside from like the cheesy third act, obviously there was like some corniness with him bonding with the kid. It almost seemed like an obligatory scene. Like of course, like it was like a montage.
And it was like very long. It was like way longer than I got the point.
Yeah, like really like yeah. Like but basically like he has a turning point with this kid. And it's right after that slide and he goes to save the kid. He's just like, God damn it, give me a sign. And like he looks up and like a plane's writing love. Like, oh my God. Yeah. And so he like jumps down the slide after the kid and saves him. But still like couldn't he be implicated in a crime anyway? Like there's sandbags at the bottom of a children's pool.
I feel like that's not legal. But you're the one from Pennsylvania, so I don't know. State laws differ.
Yeah, right.
No sand in pools.
But yeah, throughout this entire movie, the kid has like a puppet, and the puppet like channels. Yeah, Reroy is its name, and it's like a goat, and it channels like the voice of Satan, and like through the kid.
Just like the worst shining anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought of another part I liked.
All right, let's hear it.
The scene where he goes to the videographer, and like,
oh yeah, I like that too.
Where he just gets like really mad about like, why are you using a tripod?
Yeah,
Scorsese doesn't use a tripod or whatever he said.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that character was funny because he was just like, look, the priest is speaking backwards and like all this stuff. And then like it shows like a picture, like this comically staged like image or like a video clip of the kid standing in front of like a barn during their wedding with like a tornado ripping it apart. And the kid looks comically evil. And Adam Scott's just like, I don't know, man. It's pretty weird. I don't think anything's going on here. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny too, but hey man,
yeah,
that's how it is.
The weird choice of starting in media res and then like having that scene not happen till the last hour, like half hour of the movie. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. What do you mean?
Because like they started the movie with the scene of like Evangeline Lilly running out and being like, "Oh, you silly kid, burying my husband alive," and he's like, "I want a divorce." Bad choice. Yeah, why?
To start the movie off with that,
because it's in the movie.
Like, that's something that could have been. Yeah, that's something that could have been done later. I don't know if like they were trying to allude to like that being a different like boyfriend of Evangeline Lilly's before Adam Scott married her. I thought that's what they were trying to get at, but it ends up they just reused the same scene.
Yeah, they
used it again.
I feel like it would have been it feels like they kind of rushed to like change it over because it kind of felt like that's the start of a movie where this is all part of like a flashback trial movie.
Maybe.
Where, like, he's trying to convince a judge that the child is possessed, and then she doesn't see it. Like, because that, I think, almost would have been a funnier movie.
Yeah. I think it's really funny that Evangeline Lilly is blissfully, like, she knows that her son is, like, this psychopath, but, like, she's just like, they always... What was that? Was that your glass bones?
What? Yeah, good one, dude. I'm glad you got more sick from it.
Yeah, that made me more sick, that joke. Christ. Yeah, and I think a flashback trial kind of thing would be good, but that would, like, implicate that he murdered the kid.
Because he actually kills the kid.
Like,
God,
if he actually murdered the child, instead of it being like a heartwarming bad CGI ending.
It just fucking ends with, like, the judge going, like, yeah, none of this sounds real. You're going to jail for life.
But I love how she plays it off like, he's just a kid. He doesn't know how to express his emotions. When he literally buried Adam Scott alive in the backyard. Fucking great.
It's a metaphor.
Fucking great.
Nah.
Yeah. It's all a metaphor. It's like you could, like, just write a movie where with, like, a stepdad and a stepkid and, like, they just don't get along. But, like, it's almost like they threw all this, like, fake Omen shit on top of it. Like, it makes me think, like, it makes me wonder if they, like, started with the stepdad premise or started with the Omen kid presence. And then, like, one of the co-writers or something, like, was just like, well, what if he was the stepdad? You know what I mean? And, like, it's funny. It's a horror comedy. It gets buried in the yard. And we'll just use that scene twice. It makes me wonder what happened.
I think that translates really well into our game, where we take on the role, a little bit of role playing, and the name of this game is the Tom Seaver for this movie. That's the name of a pitcher. I had to Google it because I don't know baseball.
the Tom Seaver of this movie.
Yeah, so we're gonna pitch. We're gonna give our best theories. We're gonna go back and forth, and we're gonna give some pitches for this movie, and try and solve the mystery of how the fuck this got made.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, do you want to start? I got a really good sleazy Hollywood producer voice.
Oh, me too. You ready for this?
Yeah. Let's hear it.
What if we get back at my ex-wife by showing her?
Just use like your own fucking voice.
What if we get back at my wife's ex-husband by making it seem as though all, fathers of children of divorce are Satan? I think that'd be a good movie.
And then, like, the producer or, like, whoever's gonna greenlight the movie is like, because he also has an ex-wife with like a satanic child. Wow, you're onto something.
You know how when you become a stepdad?
Yeah.
And the child's Satan? Oh yeah, no, we've all gone through that.
Actually, yeah, I have been this. Oh my god.
What if it's the Omen, but trying to be funny, but not funny?
Yeah, so my thought is that, like, so it'd probably be like, obviously they're looking for producers. Probably Eli Craig himself wrote. I think he is also the writer.
The writer-director, yeah.
Yeah. So he probably took it to a producer and he was just like, okay, so here's the deal. I don't know if that's how Eli Craig talks, but that's the voice I'm using for him. So basically, you seen the Omen, right? And you seen Meet the Fockers. Put them together and you got the perfect Netflix movie. We got Adam Scott, we got Evangeline Lilly, and then a comedian who's a woman that acts like a man. And probably the producer's just like, you're right, that sounds great.
Don't you think it sounds a little bit progressive? Why don't we make fun of a person with achondroplastia? A dwarf.
Yeah, just for the laughs, for the yucks.
Yeah, we all have to. And let's not get him in more than one scene, because then we have to pay him industry fees.
You gotta die quick. We gotta make sure nobody identifies with this character.
We want to make sure he's on and off set as quick as possible, because some people will be uncomfortable. I know.
With a blatant exploitation of little people. Fucking great. That's got to be like what it is, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like, I don't know.
I feel like that whole thing, it's like somebody was out of touch. I don't know if it was Eli Craig himself and they were writing that like little person scene in, or like if it was somebody else who was writing it and they were just like, I don't know, it's just not funny enough. What if we had a little person? They're funny.
You know, I'm starting to think that maybe just the premise wasn't that funny and maybe we should make it a little more scary. No. Little person.
Scarier. I got it. Like he's like in the shower, like washing his hair with like a loofah or something. I don't know.
Karen.
You don't wash your hair with a loofah, but he's just like, I got it. We'll throw a little person in there. He like calls up his cousin. He jumps out of the shower immediately, still sudsy.
There's just like a very neatly placed like bubbles over the crotch during this shot in the making of documentary.
Exactly. The making of Little Evil. I got it. We'll put a little person in this. That's got to be what happened.
Is Little Evil supposed to be a play on something? Like the title?
I don't know. I think the play is that he's a kid and he's evil.
Interesting take, but it sounds like a stretch.
Evil.
Sounds like a stretch.
You could be onto something. Yeah, I don't know, man. I honestly, I don't know. I can't tell you if it's a play or what. But
I like to think that this movie was made specifically because someone was trying to get closer to their stepson. He's like, he wants a birthday party with the clown, the lights on fire, and he wants to watch a child drown. I really don't know how to do this legally, so I think I'm gonna make a movie.
It's Eli Craig's gift to his stepson.
Let's find out if he has a stepson.
I got it. We can make you a movie. You know that actor you like, Adam Scott? The kid loves Parks and Rec, let me tell you.
He has two children, Eli Craig.
Are they his?
Looks like it.
Come on. Give me the... isn't that saying, like... the
one of their... if this is the Twitter of one of his children, he put his height and weight on his Twitter.
On his... Really? That's weird. Eli Craig's height and weight, or just his own?
This is how much my dad weighs. Bet he could beat up your dad.
He's such a dick.
Let's see. Colin Craig. No, nothing interesting.
Nothing interesting.
What he's 4 years. Like? He's 4 years old. No wonder there's nothing interesting. Oh, he's Sally Field's son?
Really? Sally Field is in this.
Is she?
Yeah. Eli Craig is Sally Field's son? Or who?
Yeah. Eli Craig's Sally Field's son.
No shit. Sally Field is in this, yeah. She was in Little Evil. She was Miss Shylock. I don't even remember that.
Oh, was she like the fake, like, child services person?
Oh, yeah. I think that's what it was. CPS. That part was so... Like, the part was so ridiculous, I kind of just, like, blocked it out.
Yeah, no.
And so basically, yeah, that's who she was. So there's, like, a meeting with, it's like a family therapy thing where a CPS agent, Sally Field, I forget what her name is, Miss Shylock, comes to their house. I keep wanting to say Jennifer Love Hewitt. That's not who that is. Evangeline Lilly. I don't know why I keep getting those confused, but they go to their house, and like all this comical stuff is happening where Adam Scott's like talking about the kid, and she's just like, "What do you do for the kid?" And he's just like, "Well, I take him to school, and like that's it." And
she's there because like the clown lit himself on fire and like traumatized children, and they're like, "Well, because of this, you're bad."
That makes sense.
Yeah, like because somehow a clown like lighting himself on fire is your fault.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like they, but basically her whole message is that like she's trying to say like kids don't express their emotions effectively. They don't know how to. So because of that, like he's just acting out, and it's never the kid's fault, even though in this case it like literally is, and that's like the whole gag of the movie. And so like. Yeah, basically Adam Scott goes upstairs and all this ridiculous stuff happens where he's trying to talk to the kid and stuff, but he ends up getting knocked out, and then he gets buried alive. And that's what happens there. Yeah. But later in the movie, she, like, contacts the police. And
when she, like, comes and, like, grabs... Yeah, she does, like, a Amber Alert on him.
Yeah, and the police come and arrest him. And then she, like, grabs the kid, and, like, he's, like, arrested for kidnapping the kid, I guess, even though he didn't.
And then now she's, like, part of the Satan team.
Yeah, so, like, Team Satan, and, and that's, like, the whole beginning of, like, the end of the movie. Basically, they have to go rescue this kid from all these cultists in a bad CGI fire explosion.
Because as it turns out, the kid isn't, in fact, Satan. He is a gateway to Satan.
Yeah.
Which is a stupid fucking sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much that. That's like the whole movie.
Yep.
Basically, that's like the conflict that happens. It's like at first, Adam Scott doesn't like the kid doesn't like Adam Scott, and then they like each other, and then the kid gets kidnapped, and there's cultists, and then Adam Scott saves the day and saves the kid.
And never goes outside and goes, guys, Satan is real. Like, this is like the biggest takeaway. It's like, oh, we can be a family now. It's like, no, we have to tell everyone that Satan is real and trying to come onto this planet. He's trying to come here. It's terrifying.
This could be the end of the world. Yeah. This is a movie that I feel like totally does not need a sequel, but like might by accident get a sequel.
I hope not.
It'll be terrible. It'll be terrible. Yeah, that's what I think. So here we are. We're towards the getting towards the end of our episode. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else to say about this movie? I feel like I'm coming up towards the end. You know, it's just like there's really not a lot to talk about at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's not a great one. The game, we kind of covered all of the things that you could possibly say the pitch for this movie is, because it's not good.
Yeah, it's just... I feel like this comes across as like the Netflix machine, right? So this script was probably in somebody's like desk drawer, right? For probably in Eli Craig's like back pocket forever. And he was just like, well, I want money. And so like... took it to Netflix, who will apparently at this point just produce anything.
Have you seen Bright? It's awful.
It's bad. That might be one that we could review later.
Oh, God, let's not.
Yeah, so I don't know. It seems like Netflix will just like greenlight anything, and that's how this ended up.
Yeah, I mean, they have to make one good movie sometime, right? Or they should just stop, because like them making movies is why Disney's making their like super thing, where they're going to be like, we have so many movies, you could all go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I think that's what I guess that's what Disney's going to try to do.
No,
right?
they're doing. They're producing.
They're starting their own streaming service.
Yeah, and they're like bringing Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Olsen to make like
for like a Loki TV show, right?
Yeah,
that actually sounds pretty dope.
Yeah, dude, I'd watch that. Like it's 6-episode run, it's super short, but like with the legitimate actors to get some more backstory. I'm all about it.
Yeah, and like good effects and like good writing. You know, pull Taika Waititi in to write it.
God. Give me a Loki movie or Loki TV show directed by Quentin Tarantino. I know I've brought it up twice that I want Tarantino to direct more things, but I just want a really gory Loki TV show.
Tarantino doesn't like doing existing properties. He does his own stuff.
I know. But that's why I want him to change his mind.
Yeah, he'll never touch Marvel stuff.
Well, maybe give me an Eli Roth Loki. Can you imagine?
Eli Roth? I don't know, man.
It'd be weird. I just want it to be weird. Like, that's my main thing.
I mean, like, I feel like it has to be weird.
I want it to be tonally different, you know?
Yeah. I think, I don't know. We've talked about this before.
Give me Ken Burns' Loki TV show. The guy who did the Civil War documentary.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Give me a Steven Spielberg one. What?
Give me a James Cameron one after he talks so much shit about how Avatar's better.
That's what it's about. Dude, an Avatar sequel. Like, there's gonna be like 100 Avatar movies.
Yeah, I don't know how
too
before he
little too late,
dies.
man. Yeah, like so like them making an Avatar sequel is the worst idea I think I've ever heard. It's 10 years too late.
Yeah,
Doesn't need to be made. I don't know who thought that. I guess because Avatar made so much money. But the thing is like with a property like that, they should have turned it around in 2 years.
Yeah, but
before people forgot about it.
Also, Avatar was like specifically a movie theater movie. I don't think it didn't do as well on DVD and Blu-ray sales. And also 5 months after it came out, everyone was like, yeah, this is Pocahontas with like aliens and robots, mech suits. Like, and like some people figured it out sooner, but like the consensus is like, wow, it was pretty, but that is not a good story.
No, it's not a bad story. It's just totally ripped off of something else.
And you don't get to tell me that a movie that has a MacGuffin in it called unobtainium.
Unobtainium, yeah. That's almost
good.
as bad as vibranium.
Yeah, no, it's much worse than vibranium. I'm like, it vibrates. I get that. Adamantium, okay. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
I did want to do a new segment called Things to Enjoy That Are Better Than This Movie, where we talk about any other media that maybe our listeners would enjoy more. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. I don't know. Give me a recommendation. What should you watch instead of Little Evil?
Watch
or read or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you should watch Annihilation or read the Annihilation books of the Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. I like them a little bit more than the movie. The movie's with Natalie Portman, and I forget the actor's name, but in the movie he looks like he's like 40% grease, like hair grease. You know who I'm talking about?
I never saw Annihilation. I remember when that came out in theaters and people were like really excited about it.
It's really good except for like every scene with the romantic interest.
Yikes.
But it's like these flashbacks that don't fucking matter at the movie length. But as someone read the book, even though they didn't include the tower, which is my favorite part, it was really solid, and you should watch that.
Yeah.
And you should also, yeah, why not? What about you? Anything you'd recommend people watch that be a little bit better than Little Evil, if you can imagine?
I would say if you want to see something that's kind of runs in the same vein, if you're not interested in Little Evil at all, I would recommend watching The Cabin in the Woods. Came out in 2011.
It's a little indie movie that no one's heard of.
It was kind of like, it didn't really do well in theaters, I don't believe.
No.
But I think it was directed by Joss Whedon, and I think so. Hold on. No, what was his name? Was it Joss Whedon? I don't think it was Joss Whedon. Give me 1 second. Cabin in the Woods. But it's another really great horror comedy director, Drew Goddard. Okay, and he's the guy who's directing Bad Times at the El Royale.
Okay,
I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
But basically, the movie's like kind of, it's just like, it's almost like a joke on a lot of stuff without doing like direct fucking like rips from stuff like, hey, remember Poltergeist? Or, hey, remember
The Shining?
Yeah, remember The Shining? Without ripping on that kind of stuff. Even, but yeah, like they kind of riff on that kind of stuff. Like it's supposed to kind of seem like it's Evil Dead, but like there's something, another layer to it. And then you find out later in the movie why it's all set up that way. And it's a really, really fun movie. So I would recommend, if you want to watch a horror comedy movie, a little more on the horror side than it really is like comedy, but there is some like good comedy in there too. But yeah, I super recommend Cabin in the Woods over top of this.
Yeah, I feel like what most comedy horrors don't get right is like there's a point where you stop doing the comedy, you do the horror, and
yeah,
you use the comedy for levity between horrific scenes, and the comedy becomes less and less frequent, and then you kind of move into this purely horror climax with a little bit of levity on the end. Like that seems to be the correct formula, and I think Cabin in the Woods gets the closest to doing that.
It really does. It does a really good job of keeping everything light. And like a really good thing that they hit in that movie is that at the beginning you kind of really hate the characters. You think they're dumb, but then you see that they're kind of fitting into like these like classic horror movie roles, and it's all set up intentionally. And without spoiling any more, I don't want to spoil anything else for anybody. Just watch that movie. It's really excellent.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're coming up on the end here.
Oh, you read House of M. Get the graphic novel House of M. It's really good.
House of M. Okay, I'm going to write that down, actually.
It's a Marvel storyline where Scarlet Witch is super powerful and whispers the words, "No more mutants," and all the mutants in the world disappear. But certain ones, like Wolverine with his exceptional regenerative ability, have fragments of the past where the mutants existed. It's really well done. It's a classic.
Very cool. Yeah.
I just got it on Amazon. I do have a pitch for next month's movie too. I didn't want to run this by you. We talked about it a little bit before we recorded, but let me read you this plot synopsis.
Okay.
An unlucky, debt-ridden teen resorts to his math skills when he's forced into a deadly tournament of rock, paper, scissors run by a diabolical host.
Wait, what is this? Is this something you wrote?
No, it's called Animal World.
Animal World. Interesting. Okay. Is it a film?
It sure is a Chinese movie, and it's labeled on Netflix as cerebral.
It's a Chinese movie and what? Sorry?
It's labeled, it's described by Netflix as cerebral.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Your reaction was not what I expected. I just told you it's a movie about rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, that's great. I honestly, like, it's better than like rock, paper, scissors, the movie. But, you know.
Wait,
like,
there was a
like,
rock, paper, scissors movie?
No, there wasn't. But there was an emoji movie.
Never forget. Thanks a lot, Sony. First emoji movie, then Venom.
Yeah, right? Yeah, seriously. Thanks, Sony. So I guess, Ash, at the end here, you got some 5 words, and you got a rating. And would you recommend Little Evil?
All right. So I do have... One sec. I somehow have lost my place here. Okay, so I do have 5 words for Little Evil, which I've stolen from user Dissident320 off of IMDb, which is...
Shout out to Dissident320!
Pick a tone. Any tone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think that pretty much sums up my opinion on this film.
Yeah,
I gave Venom a 3. I'll give this a 4.
Okay, 4.
Which I'm not even sure. I know. You know, it's also a 3. It's just
also a 3. You like this? You didn't even like this? Oh my god! You didn't like this more than Venom? Okay.
At least Venom, I was like, cool action.
Yeah, okay.
There were no stakes in either movie, and then don't see this movie.
All right.
All right. Keeping it positive.
You're going to be surprised at what I'm about to say.
10 out of 10, perfect movie.
No. My 5 words are, it's honestly kind of cute. I'm going to give this movie like 5. Because I don't think it's really all that terrible. I think that there is some fun stuff in it. I think that the first act of the movie is actually pretty interesting. I didn't see any like glaring technical mistakes that came up. A lot of the camera work is actually pretty decent and like looked fun.
Well, I hope so. Netflix funded it.
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't any budgetary constraints that like forced them to release a subpar product. But I'm gonna say shit, man. Yeah, I'd recommend this. I'd say watch it. If it's the middle of the goddamn night and you have nothing else to watch, throw on Little Evil. You're probably gonna at least like Bridgett Everrett. You know, at the very least.
Yeah, she's fun. And Adam Scott's always the same.
Yeah, Adam Scott plays Adam Scott in this movie, so, I mean...
As Gary.
If you like Parks and Recreation, you'll probably also enjoy his character in this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say for that. Yeah. Sorry to disagree with you there, but that's...
It's okay. You liked it 20% more than I did. That's not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it came off as so middling. Like this isn't one that I'm gonna write home about. You know, I'm probably gonna forget about this movie.
You know what? You're right. It's a 10 out of 10 perfect movie. I'm changing my score. Fuck it.
Dude, it's actually against the podcast rules. Remember the contract you signed?
Someone send me a damn subpoena, okay? 10 out of 10. Perfect movie.
Great. Now you're just going to confuse everyone. But hey, fuck it. Why not? Go ahead and watch it. You watch a lot of movies. This one's you're gonna forget this one just like you forgot, I don't know, that other movie you forgot. That was probably also direct to Netflix.
About an hour and a half away from death. Maybe this will speed it up.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you'll forget your impending death for at least an hour and a half while you observe the cuteness of this movie. And there you go. It's totally inconsistent. But it looks pretty good, and it's like not so unintelligent that it makes your brain melt. That's what I got. So, yeah. Anyway, that was for the story.
Oh, yay.
There it goes.
Anything else we have to do at the end here?
Yeah, we got to announce next week's film.
Oh, yeah, next week's film. Halloween!
We're watching the 2018 Halloween that's coming out. I forget what date it comes out.
The 19th.
It comes out next week, or this week, actually, from when these guys are going to listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be surprised. I'll be interested, at the very least, to see who's in the theater. You know, I've never been to one of these slasher films like opening weekend in so long.
I've got a feeling it's going to be some older nerds. Or it could just be like couples, like boyfriend, girlfriend type shit. Honestly, that's
I'm just imagining some guy with very thick glasses and a pocket protector standing up. Actually, Michael Myers would not do this based on the canon from the original film.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Honestly, it might be the only thing that saves the movie.
All I know is that slasher movies like this are kind of a dated concept, and that every other like attempt at rebooting an 80s slasher has pretty much flopped. So my expectations aren't very high, but I will go see it, and we're gonna do some like light comparisons to the original one from like 73 or whenever it came out.
That's right. Avery's giving me homework.
Yep. Ha. And I'm actually giving all the listeners homework, too, so go ahead and watch it if you want. I really doubt that there's going to be much in the way of spoilers, because it's a slasher movie, so everybody dies.
And the bad guy's Michael Myers.
Yeah, so you know what's going to happen already.
I'm going to refer to him as Halloween.
So that's when Halloween... So Mr. Halloween...
So Halloween comes in, and he's got a knife. He's got, the Halloween knife.
Yeah.
Everyone's
it's better than referring to him as Michael Myers, because, it's just like the love guru could be bursting in there, or Cat in the Hat. Yikes.
It's like such a donkey joke. He did a fake recap of Kingdom Hearts plot, and he refers to Sora as Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god. That's great. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening this week. We'll see you next week for our Halloween spooktacular.
Oh, man. I'm scared.
Scared. I'm already scared, man. I'm quivering.
Let us know. Send us an email on what we should be for Halloween.
Yeah.
We're doing a couple's costume in different cities.
Yes. You won't get to see the costumes, but trust us, they'll be on.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll put a photo up on Instagram.
Or something like that, yeah. I'm going to be Bigfoot. So send me a recommendation as long as it's Bigfoot.
I'm going to be Littlefoot from the animated film Littlefoot.
From The Land Before Time?
No. They made, or what is it called? Smallfoot? Have you not seen this movie?
Yeah, the ads for this movie's, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen that yet. Anyway. Sorry,
all right.
I'm very distracted.
Well, have a good week. Have a good spooky Halloween.
Stay safe.
We'll see you. Stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Later. It's just full of tiff.